सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Questions? Chapter 11, verse 6. First question. What is the difference between Aneka Rupa and Vishwarupa? In the hierarchy, we said, just to make it clear, the ability, the capacity to see the divine. First is, we don't see divine at all. And then you start seeing divine in one form in a place. First is not seeing divine at all. Second is seeing divine in one form in one place. And then Aneka Rupa. You see divine everywhere. What is Vishwarupa then? What is the difference between Aneka Rupa and Vishwarupa? What is the difference between Vibhuti Yoga and Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga? What is the difference between 10th chapter and 11th chapter? In 10th chapter, in Vibhuti Yoga, we saw, you see divine everywhere. In 11th chapter, what are we seeing? What is Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga? What are we seeing in 11th chapter? In chapter 10, Aneka Rupa is something you see the best in everything and pick up. Are you able to follow? You see the best in everything and pick up and say, this is me, this is me. So Krishna says, this is me, this is me, this is me. How do you see it? You say, this is God, this is God, this is God. Even though the God has, the understanding of God has moved from a particular place and a particular form, it is moved to various forms. What is happening in Vishwarupa? What is happening in Vishwarupa? In Vishwarupa, everything is seen. In previous chapter, you are not seeing everything. You are only seeing, if you have seen everything in the previous chapter itself, then the 10th chapter itself becomes Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. But you don't see it like that. What do you see in 10th chapter? There are certain good things, and all the good things is divine. Aneka Rupa. There are so many things, and there are so many good things, and all the good things you see as divine. Are you able to understand now? Aneka Rupa means you see divine in various forms, but not. There is a difference between various and everything. It's a simple difference. Various means you see it, not everything. What is the difference between I'm seeing you everywhere versus I see you in various places? When I see you in various places, there are some places which is left behind. In every places means there is no place that divine is left behind. Are you able to follow? That is the difference between Vishwarupa and Aneka Rupa and Vishwarupa. Second difference. In chapter 10, he never said you need a different vision to see me. In chapter 11, he is saying you need a different vision to see me. Again, I repeat. In chapter 10, he didn't say you need a different vision. See me. You see Arjuna, no, that is me. You see Rama, no, that is me. You see the planets, no, that is me. You don't need a different eye. In chapter 11, what is he saying? You need a different eye. That difference we are going to bring in. Next verse is going to come. Once we go there, we'll understand that also. Are you able to follow? So Vishwarupa is not an extension of Aneka Rupa. Logically, you think Vishwarupa is a logical extension of Aneka Rupa. No. Aneka Rupa doesn't require any special eye. Vishwarupa requires a special eye. It means there is a fundamental difference between the two. What is the difference? That we will see when we go there. When we go there, we are going to see that. But for understanding purposes, to know the difference between Aneka Rupa and Vishwarupa, in Vishwarupa, you will see the past, present, and future. In Aneka Rupa, you don't see the past, present, and future. Do you? In Vishwarupa, you are going to see the past, present, and future. That's why we should wait for Vishwarupa to conclude. If you wait for Vishwarupa to conclude, you will understand the difference. Now that you asked, follow the chapter with this understanding. Doesn't matter. Follow the chapter with this understanding. In Vishwarupa, you will see the past, present, and future. Not only past, present, and future, Krishna will tell Arjuna, what all you want to see, that also you can see. In Vibhuti Yoga and Aneka Rupa, you don't have anything. You see what is there in front of. You see what is there in front of your eyes. That's all. Are you able to follow the difference? In Vishwarupa, you see the past, present, and the future. Arjuna is so worried about the outcome of the war, the future. In Vishwarupa, climax is already over. Because in Vishwarupa, Krishna is going to show the end of the war. What all happens, what all is going to happen on the 19th day, Krishna shows it now only. Looking at that and all, he gets very scared. It means those 18 days is what? Match fixing. Huh? Looks like 18 days of war becomes a match fixing because everything is already. So Vishwarupa requires a totally different vision. Aneka Rupa doesn't require that kind of a vision. Are you able to follow the difference? Vishwarupa requires a different maturity, a different kind of a vision it's required. Are you able to follow? This is the difference between Aneka Rupa and Vishwarupa. Vishwarupa, we have a conditioned understanding about Vishwarupa, which I discussed last class itself. Forget that. Forget your movie understanding of Vishwarupa. Get out of that. Don't go by your movie understanding of Vishwarupa. That and Vishwarupa has absolutely no correlation at all. Are you able to follow? In movie, how will they show Vishwarupa? You will not see what he is going to show here as Vishwarupa. In the movie, what they show as Vishwarupa is what Arjuna asks us gentler form. Show your gentler form. I didn't ask for this. So, which is not Vishwarupa at all. It is still Ekarupa only, not even Aneka Rupa. One form. Just show me your one gentle form of yours, you show me. Don't show me Vishwarupa and all. Because what I thought is Vishwarupa and what is Vishwarupa is so contradictory. Are you able to follow? What I thought is Vishwarupa and what actually is Vishwarupa is very, very confusing. Are you able to follow? Therefore, what is Vishwarupa? What is the difference between Aneka Rupa and Vishwarupa? For Aneka Rupa, technical words now. For Aneka Rupa, Laukika Chakshu is enough. For Vishwarupa, Divya Chakshu is necessary. Divyam Dadamite Chakshuhi is going to say. Arjuna, in the Kanna Vachinla, Unnalu Paaka Mudiyadu, he will say. With this eyes and all, you can't see this. So, I'm going to give you a third eye, a special eye. Why? Is there any defect in this eye? Because is there any defect in this eye that you can't see it? No. The defect is not in the eye. The defect is in the mind because of lack of preparation. It's the defective mind that cannot see Vishwarupa. Are you able to follow? It is the defective mind that is not able to see Vishwarupa. The fault is not in the Laukika eyes. Laukika eyes means fleshy eyes, this eye. Ravana also saw Rama. Hanuman, Shabari, Jatayu also saw Rama, isn't it? Shurpanaka also saw Rama. Ravana saw Rama. Shurpanaka saw Rama. And Jatayu, Hanuman, Shabari, all of them saw Rama. In the Laukika eyes, is there any difference? Everybody will say Rama is, I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know what to say now. Any description with body shaming, you can be sued for that, isn't it? So what is Rama? Okay. In a very limited way, I have not seen Rama, so I really don't know. It is my imagination. Srikanth. Yeah. Unga height irupar. Yeah. Rama is of your unga height. Because we don't want to have a hero 4.5 feet height hero. No. We will want a hero of 6 feet, isn't it? Yeah, height is nothing can be done with this. So 6 feet. Shabari also will say Rama 6 feet. Shurpanaka also will say Rama 6 feet. Ravana also will say Rama 6 because there is no defect in the Laukika eye. But what Ravana, Shurpanaka could not see, Hanuman saw. Hanuman saw. Shabari saw. Jatayu saw. What is the difference? Divya Chakshu. That is the Divya Chakshu. That is the eye. That is the eye. What is that eye? Ravana, Shurpanaka didn't work on their inner eye. Shabari and all worked on their inner eye. That's all. Are you able to understand the difference now? Venkatachalam. Ravana didn't work on his inner eye. Shurpanaka didn't work on her inner eye. Shabari worked. Jatayu worked. Hanuman worked. Therefore, what they saw through the Divya Chakshu, even though they also saw 6 feet only, the difference is something so vast. Are you able to follow? Now, this difference is what is Vishwarupa is. Divya Chakshu. Laukika eyes and all, you can't see God. Laukika eye, that's why I go to Ayodhya, I'll see Rama. Shabari says, I will make Rama come to me. I will not go to Ayodhya. He'll let him walk. I will ensure that he will come and see me. That is a preparation. Are you able to follow? But then we always misunderstand. Vision means a Laukika eyes. So the difference between Aneka Rupa and Vishwarupa is Vishwarupa requires a far matured mind, a prepared mind. And that prepared mind will see the past, present, and future. Not only it will see the past, present, and future, it will have nothing to do with it. It will remain unaffected by it. You see the past, present, and future, you will be so worried. If you can actually see, not you, not anybody in this classroom, Raj, not anybody in this classroom, if you all can see where you will be 10 years later. Oh my God, it's so scary. Where you are all going to be 10 years later is so worrisome, is so scary. Sir, why are you imagining all this, sir? We are all studying Bhagavad Gita and we are under your care also. Therefore, nothing will happen. In the Marla, Ningala, imagine Pandin, don't work yourself up for nothing. Laukika Chakshula, present kuda you can't see fully. With the Laukika Chakshu, you can't even see the present fully. Jnana Chakshu, you can see the past, present, and you're able to follow? This is the difference between Aneka Rupa and Vishwarupa. You see the tree? No, he'll ask. In Aneka Rupa, he will ask, do you see the tree? Yes. You can see it as a tree or you can see it as divine tree. You can see it as tree or you can see it as a divine tree. Devata. So what the Vedas call as Ati Devata. For everything there is a Devata. There is a divine thing, isn't it? Nowadays, people talk about even plants have life and all that, isn't it? You go to the Durva Yugma Suktam. Durva Yugma Suktam means prayer for the grass. Durva Yugma is, okay, Durva Yugma Pera Keta Madri. If you do Ganesh Puja, you will understand Durva Yugma, isn't it? Durva Yugma is the grass. Tamil adu solnunna Tamil Durva Yugma Argam Pulna Peru. It's a wild grass. Everywhere it will grow by itself. There is no need to. So all that you need to do is take the grass in front of Ganesha, which he is growing, and offer it to him. Yeah, that's why it is. When they cut it, there is a prayer for that, asking for his forgiveness, etc. It means without any eyes, because of the development of Divya Chakshu, they are able to see the life force in it already. They didn't need the biology, they didn't need the instrument, they didn't need the microscope, they didn't need all that. Because of the sheer working on the inner eye, Divya Chakshu, they are able to see it more penetratively than what people can see today. Are you able to follow? That penetrative vision, when you have the prepared mind, you can see Vishwarupa. So don't think Vishwarupa is an hallucinatory, imaginary figure and all. Another problem that people have with Vishwarupa is they think it is he's just showing something. It's not like that. Are you able to follow? Vishwarupa is even there. There is a Vishwam in front of you, no? Correct? There is a Vishwam in front of you. It's not that there is nothing in front of you. There is a Vishwam in front of you. How do you see the Vishwam in front of you? That is Vishwarupa. Again, I repeat. Laukika eyes prove the Vishwam in front of you. Divya Chakshu sees the divine in that. Divine in that. So seeing the divine in the totality is Vishwarupa. So there is a difference between Aneka Rupa and Vishwarupa. Is it okay? Next question. You said the very high level of bhakti is through Vishwarupa, meaning seeing divine in everything versus everything is divine. Question. How to understand the distinction between everything is divine, everything in divine? The difference. The difference is what in technical language it's called Dvaita Drishti and Advaita Drishti. In technical language it's called Dvaita Drishti and Advaita Drishti. In Dvaita Drishti, you say there is something enlivened by God. God is in everything. Everything is there, enlivened by God. That's called Dvaita Drishti. Technical. These are simple technical terms that we should know. Dvaita Drishti. Advaita Drishti is there is only God. Are you able to follow the two different viewpoints? Advaita Drishti says there is only God in Nama Rupa. Are you able to follow the difference? So the difference is of technical word today. Dvaita Drishti and Advaita Drishti. Dvaita Drishti will say there are variety of objects and beings enlivened by God, supported by God, blessed by God, etc. Are you able to follow? It means they are not God. Advaita Drishti says, what is the difference now? Divine in everything. Divine in everything is Dvaita Drishti. Divine is everything is Advaita Drishti. You follow? Two diametrically opposite standpoints. Even though English language looks like to be even though the language seems to be like that, no, it is not like that. That's why I use the technical term to differentiate the Dvaita Drishti and Advaita Drishti. In Advaita Drishti, you will say gold and ornaments, clay and pot. This is Advaita Drishti. Are you able to follow? What is Advaita Drishti? Very simple. Clay and pots, gold and ornaments. Even though you see the various ornaments, you are in your Divya Chakshu, in your understanding, there is a union. What is it? It is all the same gold in this. It means there is no other material other than gold. Everything is divine, means there is no other material other than divine. Are you able to follow? Divine in everything means it's like saying there are these 5 elements, there is this world, there is all this, and God, Brahman or God is blessing it as it were, supporting it as it were, etc. Are you able to follow? So these are the two fundamental differences. In Bhakti Yoga, from Dvaita Drishti Bhakti, we should develop the Advaita Drishti Bhakti. That Advaita Drishti Bhakti ki closest indication is Vishwarupa Darshana. Otherwise, people always believe Bhakti is of Dvaita and there is no Bhakti in Advaita. No. From Dvaita Drishti Bhakti, you should mature into Advaita Drishti Bhakti. For that Advaita Drishti Bhakti, Vishwarupa is for the Advaita Drishti Bhakti to develop, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga is so beautiful. You follow? The difficulty is most don't read those chapters like this. Most people don't read those chapters like this. And you cannot put it in a book form, all this. You cannot write a commentary on these things also because it will be more confusing. Therefore, what do? They just leave so many things in between. They just leave so many gaps in between. In these kind of classes, since we have the luxury of not in a hurry. See, book there is no book doesn't have a luxury. What is the luxury book doesn't have? There is a limitation to that. There is a fixed number of pages. So you will always want to minimize the page. You will not want to expand. Yeah. Expand panine pona inna, isn't it? If you go on expanding, what will happen? You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, a book always comes with the limitations. What is the limitation? It has to be, you cannot expand. That's why the very study itself can go to how the study itself goes deeper and deeper and deeper. First is we have a general meaning of topics. First, we have a general meaning of Gita, and then we have a general meaning of the topics, and then we have a general meaning of the verses. இது வரைக்கும் elementary study. இந்த study எல்லாம் should inspire you to go deeper. What is deeper? Verse by verse. Word by, first you study verse by verse, and then you go word by word. Now, certain things can be understood only when you go to the deep core of able to go it into word by word. That's why in this classroom you would have seen sometimes I'll just take up one word and just keep circling around that, and I'll be circling around that one word only for some time. Are you able to follow? Because we have the luxury to do it like that here, so many people come and ask me, sir, when we will be finishing this chapter? I'll say, I don't know. Say, what do you mean you don't know? Well, I say, I don't have a lesson plan. I don't have a timetable that before 2024 December Bulla, I have to finish chapter. I don't have it like that. Today I come, Om Narayana, Sahana Vavatu, we start. God only knows what is going to. Why? Because we want to expand here. Are you able to follow? So when we are expanding, certain liberties we have, which you will not find it in a, which cannot be said in a book. Or if it is told in a book, it will be too voluminous that you need a very refined language for that. That's why Sanskrit is so beautiful. There is a Bhashya and there is a Vartika, and then there is the Tippani. Apani Tippani fellows, they say, in the past. Tippani. They take a word and they go so deep into it. Are you able to follow? This drishti, Advaita drishti and Dvaita drishti, don't branch off now. In all this, don't branch off. I'm saying this way of Advaita drishti and Dvaita drishti can be elaborated in a classroom like this because of we have the luxury of expansion. So we have that freedom here to expand. That is the second question. Is there any more question? You said, when you are able to see Vishwarupa, which is creation, you will be able to see the God in you. You understand Aham Brahmasmi. In the order of different Rupa, which is Eka, Aneka, Vishwa and Arupa, what about Arupa? What happens in Arupa? Please elaborate the stage which is before Aham Brahmasmi. அவங்களே டிசைட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. This is a stage before Aham Brahmasmi. Yeah, is this a stage before Aham Brahmasmi? கேள்வி கேட்கணும். Please elaborate the stage which is before Aham Brahmasmi. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What about Arupa? What happens in Arupa? The very fact that it is called Arupa, what happens in Arupa means it is Anirvachaniyam. It cannot be described. That's why it is called Arupa. It is indescribable, that is. Up to Vishwarupa, it is describable. This Arupa is indescribable. Indescribable means Vishwarupa itself looks like moksha, enlightenment. Vishwarupa itself looks like moksha, enlightenment. Now, what is there in Arupa and all that? There is a stage Arupa, but that Arupa is indescribable. Are you able to follow? So, what is Arupa? What happens there? Between the two thoughts, what is there? What is the phenomena from which everything arises? You follow? All this is indescribable. But definitely there is an arupa. Why do we call it as arupa and leave the last indescribable? Otherwise, liberation, moksha itself will become a concept that can be put by words. Liberation itself will become an idea that can be described by words, which we are trying to say not possible. You follow? Therefore, arupa means the last point, which is indescribable. That stage before aham brahmasmi lang kadayadu. Yeah, it is not like that. It's not a stage before aham brahmasmi and all that. So don't get mixed up like that. You only understand Vishwarupa requires a matured, prepared mind will be able to see Vishwarupa, and then having come to that level of Vishwarupa, leave it at that. Don't theorize. Don't theorize that. Don't theorize it. Just leave it at that. Answer theriyadana, just leave it at that. No solidno. Yeah, Venkat. Yeah, I will not say answer theriyadu. We should not say. Just leave it here. Okay. The vision of the God, of the divine, as we saw, requires, you can see it with the Laukika eyes, you can see it with Divya, you can call it Divya Chakshu, Jnana Chakshu. All means one and the Divya Chakshu, Jnana Chakshu, all means one and the same. They are no different. Laukika Chakshu is given to you at birth. Jnana Chakshu, Divya Chakshu, you have to work to get it. It is not given to you at birth. If you can see divine, which is given to you, if you can see God with the eyes that is given to you at birth itself, then why spiritual sadhana? Why nothing? You should be able to see it straight away. No. Do you have to require, do you need to do any spiritual sadhana to see an apple? Do you have to do any spiritual sadhana to see the world around you? You open the eyes, you see it. So, the Laukika eyes doesn't require any preparation. Jnana Chakshu, Divya Chakshu requires a preparation. What is that preparation? That preparation is what we call as Chitta Shuddhi. And also we have seen the defect is not in the Laukika Chakshu, the defect is in the Divya Chakshu. You have not worked on that. That is the defect. If you are not able to see God, you can't go and change your glasses. Because it's not a defect of this eye. If it is a defect of this eye, okay, I have removed the glass. I am not able to see anything in front, but I can see 5 feet away, I can see very clearly. So in order to manage the defect, where is the glass? Now I can see. If there is a defect in the Laukika eye like that, some glass we can find and we can put it and start seeing Vishwarupa. But then it's not a defect in the eye. It is the defect in the lack of preparation. Just as we saw, Ravana didn't work on his Jnana Chakshu, Divya Chakshu. Therefore, he could not see Rama. How Shurpanaka saw Rama, lustful. How Ravana saw Sita, lustful, isn't it? Lustful. Laukika eyes is with the Laukika eyes, you cannot see the divine. So it is very important. What? Vishwarupa Darshanam is so easy, Arjuna. Vishwarupa Darshanam is so easy because there is the Vishwam in front of you already. There is a Vishwam in front of you already, which you need not do anything about. All that you need to do is what? All that you need to do is change your vision. Work on your Divya Chakshu. That is what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Sacharacharam. Charam and Acharam. If only we have moved to the verse. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse number 7. Kolatur. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse number 7. Ihaikastam Jagat Krishnam Pashyadya Sacharacharam. Idana padcham pona varum. Idana padcham. Mamadehe Gudakesha Yachanya Drashtu Michami. What all you want to see also you will see. What all you want to see, you will see. At that point, what is Arjuna wanting to see now? Only the end of the war is what he wants to know. Isn't it? What all you want to see, you will see. What is it that he wants to see? Ippo Krishna comes and asks in front of us, show the Vishwarupa, and then say, what all you want to see? You see, Srikanth, இன்னைக்கு ராத்திரி 10:30 யார் கையில கப்பு இருக்கும் அதுதான் I want to see, isn't it? Today night 10:30 who will be holding the cup? அவ்வளவுதான் I want to know, isn't it? What all you want to see means what? At this point of time, what is it that he wants to see? The consequence. What is going to be the end of the Nimitta Matram Bhavasavya Sachin, he is going to say later, based on the same thing. Nimitta Matram means you are only a Nimitta. Nimitta means instrument. Nimitta Karana, we have seen instrumental cause. Nimitta means instrument. Nimitta, yeah, Bhavasavya Sachin. Yeah. You are only a Nimitta, you are only an instrument, Arjuna. What is it? What else can be there when everything is in Vishwarupa? That's one question. Because he's saying, what all you want to see, you will see. Now, what else can there be when everything is in this form that Arjuna will want to see? You have to see it in Arjuna's context. இன்னைக்கு விஸ்வரூபம் எடுத்துட்டு வந்து கேட்டா we will ask. யார் ஜெயிப்பாங்க கப்ப? See, somebody is going to win. Somebody is going to win. Who's going to, now with Laukika Chakshu we will not know. Arjuna's problem. Will he win or will Kauravas win? Vishwarupa says it's all settled. It's all settled means the outcome of the war is already decided. Duryodhana had sought this destruction. He worked very hard for him to get destroyed. Purida? Duryodhana worked so hard for what? We also work. Duryodhana also work. We are all working also. Working so hard for what? Hard working, sir. Hard working, sir. Hard working, sir. Remember Vishwarupa Darshana. Remember Vishwarupa Darshana. Are you able to follow? We are also working very hard. Duryodhana also worked very hard. He sought his destruction, worked very hard for his destruction. Therefore, he is getting it. Duryodhana is ripe for destruction. Duryodhana is very ripe for destruction. All that is required is what? Somebody to shoot one arrow, that's all. Arjuna, you happen to be that instrument. What are you crying? Are you able to follow? See, it's so right. The karmas are so right. See, even in the case of Ravana, if you see, the karmas are so right. Throughout his lifetime, he was working so hard for his destruction. See, the 9 planets were protecting him. Yeah, the 9 planets is the steps, isn't it? Who can destroy him? Who can destroy him? But who has the capacity to destroy Ravana? Who has the capacity to destroy Duryodhana? Himself. Similarly, who has the capacity to destroy yourself? If the rule is the same for Ravana, if the rule is the same for Duryodhana, it's the rule that is applicable to all of us. Some nimitta will come, and you will blame the nimitta for that. Are you able to follow? You work hard for your destruction, you plan it, you work very hard for it, and you are ripe to get destroyed. For the fruit to fall, an arrow will come. And you will blame what? And you will blame the arrow. You'll want to punish the arrow. You'll want to blame the arrow. As long as the power of the boon, the power of this tapas was saving, Ravana thought he is invincible. He didn't have the vision. He didn't have the Divya Chakshu. If he had had the Divya Chakshu, Jnana Chakshu, he would have understood what? The safety, the invincibility, etc. is all a temporary karmic protection. Once that gets exhausted, back to square one. Are you able to follow? Duryodhana also the same thing. You know, have you ever seen a ripened fruit? The ripened fruit is hanging in the branch. All that you have to do is touch it, it will fall. All that you have to do is a touch. Sometimes even the passing breeze is enough. Polo, it will fall, isn't it? It means it's ripened so much. All you have to do is what, Arjuna? Release a few arrows. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachi. You are only an instrument. What all you want to see, you see. What will Arjuna want to see at this point in time? The outcome of the war. Now, if you see a Vishwarupa, Anshu, if you see a Vishwarupa, what will you see? Maybe Aisha you will see, isn't it? Because that's what all is worrying you is what? You will see. You will not see the end of the Mahabharata war, you will not see in the Vishwarupa because you have nothing to do. You have nothing to do with it. Are you able to follow? Therefore, he says very beautifully, Sachara Charam, this Charam and Acharam. That we have seen any number of times. This world is made up of movable and immovable. Charam, Acharam. You will see this. You will see all that is movable and immovable in one. That is Vishwa. You can take an atom and see the Vishwam in that. You can take one atom and you can see a Vishwam in that because there is the Vishwam in it. There is that vastness, there is the totality, there is that infinite thing which is so Ascharya, wonderstruck. A devotee would have fallen at his feet and did one Ashtanga Namaskar. Arjuna gets scared. If you see the Vishwarupa, a prepared mind, that's a difference. Huh? A prepared mind will do one Ashtanga Namaskar and say thank you. Unprepared mind will get scared. Are you able to follow? Therefore, Divyam, therefore he is saying, Mama dehe gudakesha yachanyad drashtum ichchasi. Now, behold here, in my body means in one. In one, See the charam and acharam. And extra for you. What is it extra for you? Whatever else you desire to see, you see that also. That is verse number 7. We move on to verse number 8. 8 padi.
न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम् न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्.
But you cannot see me with these eyes of yours. I give you the divine eye. Behold my supreme yoga. But you cannot see me with these eyes of yours. I give you the divine eye. Behold my supreme yoga. Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. I am going to give you a divine eye. What I am going to give you is a divine. What I am going to give you is a divine eye. What is that eye that I am going to give you? The Divya Chakshu. With the physical eye, you will not see me. You cannot see me. The third eye I will give you. Divya Chakshuhu. Divya Chakshuhu, figuratively it is called as the third eye. Please understand, there is no third Laukika eye. Like there will not be one eye right in the middle and blinking and all. Don't again don't think like third eye means somewhere there will be another eye which will open and see. Yeah. Divya Chakshu means this. A tourist going to a temple with his camera and a bhakta going to the same temple. What is the difference? A tourist going to the temple with the camera and the bhakta going. You go to the Kapali temple here and you see the Shivalinga, you know that Shivalinga is made up of stone and obviously it is only, it has a lifetime. Obviously, you will not go and ask, when was the stone made? How old is the stone? From where was the stone brought? You will not ask all these questions. Correct? Because to you, whether it was made yesterday or today, it doesn't make any difference. Why? Because it penetrates, the eye sees the Laukika eye sees the superficial stone, the Jnana Chakshu penetrates the superficial stone and see the divine. Are you able to follow? The Laukika eye cannot penetrate. It is the Jnana Chakshu, the divine eye, that can penetrate and see the divine in that. You go to the temple, Patsarathi temple, Vishnu temple, they'll give you water, isn't it? Tulsi Tirtha. You will not ask, is it RV? Yeah? What water it is? UV, yeah? Huh? RO. RO. Is it RO? You will not ask, isn't it? If you go there and ask, is it RO? Is it hygienically prepared? Why aren't you wearing your mask? And the hands are, how often who will ask all these questions? Laukika, I will ask all these questions. When you go there, what will you do? What will you do? You will take the tirtham and you will drink it. But after drinking, if you fall sick, what happens? After drinking, you fall sick, what happens? Prasada buddhi. That's what you are supposed to get. God is giving you that prasad. Where is the problem? Bhakta doesn't have that is jnana chakshu. Are you able to understand the difference now? This is the jnana chakshu. Laukika chakshu will see it very very differently, isn't it? Some of the vibhutis, people preserve it for years. Some of the ghee, they preserve it for decades also. Now, only in the last few years that ghee isn't there in my house. Otherwise, there will be that ghee from the Shabarimala deity in the house. Always that ghee will be there. Any problem, any sickness, anything, all that you have to do is what? Take a drop of that and that's it. Problems get sorted out. And miraculously it gets sorted out also. And it gets sorted out. Yeah, they store the ash. They say, oh, these are all highly superstitions. We are all intellectuals. We don't. There's not intellectual. Just going by Laukika eye, that's all. Because you take the ghee and test it in any lab in the world, what is seen by Divya Chakshu will not be revealed in any lab test. Are you able to understand the difference? You go to any lab and test it in the world, the best lab, I don't know, is there, if at all there is the best lab in the world, you take it there and test it also. What will not be revealed in that lab test? That extra element called divine. That extra element is what Jnana Chakshu, Divya Chakshu is all about. To do parikrama, it's called. Parikrama, then going around the mountain. What is it called? Parikrama, Girivalam, we call it here, isn't it? Here we call it Girivalam. Hindi, adu parikrama. It is the Jnana Chakshu, Divya Chakshu that makes it divine. You will not say, I went to Tiruvannamalai for trekking. Will you say that? Ram Subramaniam. Himalayas, I went for Kailash Mansarovar trekking, where I am trekking to Kailash Mansarovar. Will you say that? No, it is mountain only. No, Laukika, it is mountain only. It is trekking only. It is going around one hill only as far as the Laukika is concerned. Divya Chakshu sees it very differently. Are you okay till now? Now comes the greatest problem of Divya Chakshu. The Divya Chakshu is so subjective that it will reveal only to you, not to anybody else. Remember that. Again, I repeat, the very big problem of this Divya Chakshu is it is so subjective an eye that only Only you can see it. Nobody else can see it. That's why people ask, sir, if you are shown Vishwarupa, how come nobody else in the battlefield saw that, sir? Oh, very intelligent question. Huh? You feel like taking one stick and hitting on the head, Rab Subramaniam. You feel like taking one, one knock on the head. Why? Because how come others didn't see? How can others see? Only you can see. Because Divya Chakshu is purely a subjective. Divya Chakshu is purely a subjective eye that cannot come out of that cannot be seen by the other. Are you able to follow? Therefore, I will give it to you means it's purely a subjective eye. Don't take it like a magical eye. Don't take it like some extra vision he has given. Don't get into that weird, superstitious, mystical way of understanding this. If you take that route, you will misunderstand the entire chapter 11 completely. Your misunderstanding will be so much. That's why we are stressing so much on why is he giving that special eye to him. Pashyame yogam aishwaram. He said, no? Pashyame yogam aishwaram. Pashyam. You see that. The end result of this Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga understanding is what? You will understand that there is no question of going near God because you can never run away from God. At the height. We have to come to that height of understanding. Srikant, Purida. There is no going near God. For you can never run away from God. Yeah. Remember that in the clay pot analysis, we have done this any number of times. The pot can never tell the clay, leave me alone for a while. The pot can get freedom from the potter. The pot can get freedom from the wheel. The pot can get freedom from the nimitta karana, it can get freedom from. It can get freedom from the intelligent cause, it can get freedom from. It can get freedom from the instrumental cause, but it can never ever become free from the material cause. The Vishwarupa. Able to follow? That is, you can never ever get freedom from the material cause because where is it going near God and all? In the very initial stages, you will go to a place to see God. Isn't it? You will go to a place to see God. Okay. Panchabhuta Sthala. Take an example. 5 elements. Panchabhuta Sthala. 5 elements. So if you want to see Akasha, where you have to go to in the beginning? Chidambaram. Angada Akasha. If you want to see Prithvi, where you have to go to Kalahasti, because that's where Prithvi is, the Panchabhuta of Shiva. After a while, from this Ekarupa, you go to Anekarupa. What is this Anekarupa? This Panchabhuta Sthalas is all over the place. It's not only restricted to the boundary of Kalahasti, nor is it restricted only to the boundary of Chidambaram. Even though it is needed, we can only start like that. Are you able to follow? It's needed, we can only start like that, but we cannot end there. It grows. But then what happens? The Panchabhuta is seen everywhere. And then you see Panchabhutas in the entire universe. And then finally, what will you see? Panchabhuta is only a Nama Rupa of the Panchabhuta is only a Nama Rupa of the divine. Are you able to follow? This is the preparation that we are trying to get into. This is what we try to get. Therefore, it is very, very, it is very, very clear, isn't it? But in the movie and all, how is it shown? Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. And Krishna will go like this, isn't it? And then a flower pot will come from his hand, isn't it? A light will come from his hand. Re-recording, but a lot of music background and all has to be given, isn't it? Because in silence, you will not know what is happening. So a lot of background, everything, and then it will go to Arjuna, and Arjuna will suddenly wake up, and he will see a huge form standing in front. Divyam dadami te yakshuhu. A very beautiful distinction here. It takes a while for Arjuna to even recognize what is happening. Appo silent avutta, we will not know what is happening. Sanjaya comes in between. That is why next verse we will read Sanjaya Uvacha. Sambandhame Lama, where Sanjaya we left in chapter, where we left Sanjaya in chapter 10, verse number 10, chapter 2, Lavutta Sanjaya comes in now only. Why? Because Arjuna is trying to process. When Arjuna is trying to process, isn't it? Audience will get agitated. But I know our song, isn't it? Fill it up with one song. So Sanjaya will come in between now. Because Arjuna is processing that. Divyam dadamite chakshuhu. See, what is that Divya Chakshu? Divya Chakshu is the perception without aham and mama. Without ahankara and mamakara, perception is Divya Chakshu. Ajnana Chakshu is perceiving everything with ahankara and mamakara. That's all. What is Divya Chakshu? In the way that we can understand, what is Divya Chakshu? Divya Chakshu is perceiving everything without ahankara and mamakara. Divya Chakshu technically is called looking at the Ishvara Srishti. Looking at the Ishvara Srishti, looking at Ishvara himself, God himself is Vishwarupa. Okay. Without this Ishvara Srishti, there is something called Jiva Srishti. What is that Jiva Srishti? The Jiva Srishti is Ahankara and Mamakara. Are you able to follow now the difference? It is the Jiva that creates something. The individual creates something. What is that the Jiva creates? I and mine. Ahankara and Mamakara. This is a clock. This is my clock. This is a clock. This is my clock. This is a clock is Ishvara Srishti. This is my clock in Sonna. Jiva Srishti, your Srishti. So, all the problems come to you from what Srishti? Ishvara Srishti or Jiva Srishti? Ram Subramaniam. All problems comes from which Srishti? Ishvara Srishti or Jiva Srishti? Combination, no sir? 50-50, no? 50-50, no? Purida, Shankar. Combination, no sir? Mishram, no sir? Everything is Mishram, no? Mixture, no? Little bit me, little bit that also? No. Your Srishti, your creation. What is it? Aham and Mama. This ahangara and mamakara is the jiva srishti. In the distinction, Adi Shankaracharya in his Bhashyam brings this distinction. Beautifully he brings in this, when he's commenting on this verse, what is this divyam, divya chakshu? What is this divine eye? Because we understand that there is no mysticism, special treatment and all that. Clear? Because it's against the law there. It's against the law. It's against the karma it is. So I don't, then what is this divya? What is this? Divyam dadamite chakshuhu means divya chakshu is perceiving the jagat as Ishvara Srishti. Ajnana chakshu is bringing in aham and mama. Ahangara, mamakara is not Ishvara. It belongs to the jiva. Relating will not create bondage. It is the I-ness and mine-ness that creates bondage. Again, I repeat. The creation, the presence of the object doesn't create bondage. Then what creates bondage? The I-ness and the ahangara and the ahangara and mamakara is the bondage. Again, there is another beautiful book called Panchadashi. Another book. So scared to refer to any book here. Because immediately, sir, which book we should, which version you recommend that we should study? Any book you can study, doesn't matter, because you will not cross few verses, you will not cross. In Panchadashi, there is this beautiful distinction. Dvaita Viveka Prakaranam, it's called. In Panchadashi chapter 4, this Dvaita Viveka Prakaranam. Dvaita Viveka Prakaranam means how we have the wrong discrimination. So he's trying to distinguish between what is it and how we destroy it. For which he uses these two words. Ishvara Srishti and Jiva Srishti. Are you able to follow? Visualizing the entire universe itself is a supernatural power, isn't it? Visualizing the entire itself is a supernatural power, isn't it? Imagine, okay, sit and try to understand the size of the earth. Isn't it? The size of the planet. Then they say thousands of earth will fit into one planet. Number galaxy, Jupiter. In Jupiter, thousands of earth can be placed inside Jupiter. Divya chakshu irundadum purinjukka mudiyum. The ordinary eye, you can never understand. The ordinary eye, you can never with the ordinary eye, you can never understand that. With the ordinary eye, you can never see that. You follow? Therefore, what is this Divya Chakshu? Divya Chakshu is the eye that I am giving you. Behold it, Arjuna. Because what I am showing is Aishwaram Yoga. What you are going to see is Supreme Yoga. Providing the divine eye means through your own divine eyes means two possibilities. Two possibilities. The two possibility is a guru, because of the guru's ability to communicate, can temporarily make you see. That's what happens in the inspired sessions. In the inspired sessions, the guru makes you to. So what is he doing there? He doesn't say, I am giving you the divine eye. He doesn't say it like that. But what is actually happening there? The guru, the shastra, can temporarily make us see it for a while. That's why we are in that level for a while and then we come back. This is what is happening to Arjuna also. Distinct and different from that is a matured student, a evolved student, developed student. So this jnana chakshu, divyam dadami te chakshu, can be seen in one way. What is on one way? A guru can elevate you for a while. A guru can make you see it for a while. But again, very soon you will come back to your original stature. Different method. What is a different method? How to make you see it permanently. How to ensure that this vision becomes your own vision. That is the preparation. That is the Chitta Shuddhi. That is what we call as the matured mind, the purified mind, the Chitta Shuddhi mind, etc. Now, what is Arjuna doing here? He is like any one of us. He doesn't want to go through the process of Chitta Shuddhi and wanting to have the vision for himself and all. Using your thing, why don't you show me? We go to God and always tell God what? Using your supernatural powers, why don't you sort out my problem? Isn't it? Huh? Yeah, we go to God for what? God, you have powers, no? And I am your devotee also, no? Yes. I am a very ardent devotee also. Yes. What all I have done to you? Yes. Therefore, why can't you just sort it out? Temporary. This is a temporary thing. Now, what has happened to Arjuna here? He is getting a temporary inspired vision. Understand it like that. He is getting a vision which is inspired, temporary. So, granting the divine vision of the cosmic form and as though he is only favoring Arjuna and not giving us this. I don't see it like that. If you see it like that, you will not understand chapter this Vishwarupa at all. What has happened here? Krishna, because of his ability, isn't it? Ashochanan vashochastvam pragyavadamsya bhashase gatasuna gatasunschya nanushocanti panditaha. What a vision it is. That is divine chakshu. That is divya chakshu, jnana chakshu. Are you able to follow? Nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubayorapi drishtontaha, tvanayoho tattva darshibihi. Arjuna, the vision of the wise one, don't you understand? The tattva darshibihi, their vision, their jnana chakshu. Now, all that is temporary. I can get inspired by it, be in it for a while and lose it. Another method is Purify yourself, prepare yourself through the process of purification and be in it. Now, what are we trying here? The preparation, the purification by which we can be in it. Therefore, the Divya Chakshu becomes, instead of the Guru lending it temporarily, it becomes your own vision. This is verse number 8. Next 3 verses, Sanjaya will speak. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya speaks. When Sanjaya speaks, it means what is happening to Arjuna? Isn't it? Something is happening in front. He's not able to see what is happening. He's cleaning his glasses, cleaning his eyes, putting the glass. It takes 2-3 minutes, no? And 2-3 minutes of silence is not allowed. Therefore, what happens? Sanjaya comes in now. Sanjaya Uvacha, which will continue next week. Which will take up next week. So he says, Divyam dadamite chakshuhu. I gave you the supernatural power. Actually, supernatural power means it's not a supernatural power. It is a supernatural power, purely subjective. Please understand that. A supernatural power is always purely a subjective phenomena. It can never be a Laukika phenomena. Laukika phenomena means everybody can see. If 2 or more can see, it is Laukika. Remember that. 100 of us went and all hundreds of Vishwarupana. That is Laukika only. It is not Divya Chakshu. Because it is purely a subjective phenomenon. Purely a subjective phenomenon. With this, we conclude for today. We continue with verse number 9 onwards next session.